are listening to the Stronger Inside podcast, where we break down all things regarding health, fitness, and wellness to help you improve your mind, body, and environment. And now, your host, Wayne, a.k.a. Workout with Wayne, and Ernest, a.k.a. Mr. 100 Pounds Down.
Hey. Hey, let that play out.
Hey, man, first time using some new equipment,
Yeah.
but, we are here in person, not on Zoom.
What's up? Hey.
In person, getting this done, stepping it up,
Yes, sir.
Been away from it for a little while, so, there's a reason why. We work on some things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You got to do things the right way, always improving, so,
Absolutely.
it's not like we're just kind of chilling, doing nothing.
Right. We got some good things coming for you in 2021, so stay tuned for all that.
Yeah, building. All right.
Gotta start somewhere. How'd your year end? How'd you feel? The last couple months of the year. Would you do personally, professionally? Anything you could touch on?
Such a long time ago, man.
Yeah, I know. A lot of things have happened since October, November.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we had that project we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get closer to releasing some information on that. You were a big part of that.
Yes, sir.
That was something that was cool that we got a chance to work on.
That was dope. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, with some other guys, and we're gonna put that out. Hopefully, maybe mid February.
I'm down for it. I think that's a good thing. Many of you may or may not know, Wayne is the technical visionary behind a lot of the things we see on the Stronger Inside podcast and a lot of the things. So Wayne does a lot of the visuals and putting a lot of the videos and things together. Well, a lot of the videos or all of the videos? All of the videos.
Oh, I didn't want to.
So I don't want to give him. I don't want to tell him to have it ready by mid-February when it might take February 18th. I don't want to tell him to do it on the 14th when it might be the 18th. So nah, but no. So if as once you get it out, it's going to be good. It's going to be perfect. And we're going to post production is where we're at right now.
Yeah. So we're going to get that done. Right now we are, like I said, we're building things. We started off with the podcast. We did Zoom. We got some in-studio stuff now. Like Ernest said, a lot of the things that we're doing, this is a one-man band a lot of times, where it comes from social media to video editing and sound, but that's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be hiring soon. Maybe. Never know.
Hey.
Either drop me a resume in a message or something.
Let's go.
So we can build this thing up a little quicker.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yours, how was the end of your year?
End of the year was good, man. A lot of family time. Took some time off from work and just spend time with EJ and my wife. And, we live with my mom now because we're building a house. So my mom, and so just doing those types of things, man, and just kind of relaxing, let my hair down a little bit.
You let your hair go or down?
A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. But yeah, so just kind of been kind of maintaining through the winter with the fitness goals and things like that, and so really ready to kind of ramp it back up in the beginning of 2021. We started the year off eating clean and kind of trying to get our bodies back and getting those things ready to go and ramping up some of the workouts and stuff towards the beginning of the year. A little sore today from a leg day yesterday, so doing those things is good. And my son wanted to wrestle today, and I mean, he was really hurting me on these these elbow drops on these thighs. I was like,
Took advantage of you.
Yeah. These weren't fake screams today. But everything's been going well. We enjoying just kind of staying home and working from home still as much as we can, and then working with you, working with the guys for the project we did was very rewarding. Built relationships and friendships and stronger bonds with some people, and so. Those things you guys are going to see are going to be, I think, amazing and going to be helpful for so many more people.
Yeah, that's what it's about. We don't want this just to only be about just you at first, or just me, in terms of the business, is about kind of building that community.
Absolutely.
And we've definitely put some more roots down within that. And then again, like I said, it spreads. One person touches another person, and that's probably a terrible analogy right now. But you know what I mean.
Right. One person touches one person, they use Purell, they touch another person, and you know how that goes.
Yeah. This is a good virus.
Right, exactly.
Oh, man. It's like a vaccine. How about that? There you go.
There we go. We out here.
Yeah, there you go. It's more like a vaccine.
There we go. The Stronger Inside vaccine. No Moderna.
There. Okay, man.
That's a label. That's a brand.
No, okay.
No brands.
No brands. So this is episode 19, right?
Whew. Yeah, man.
Yeah, 19. So what we're going to talk about today? What's the topic today?
So today we're going to talk about setting goals in the new year.
Setting new goals.
Yeah, so a lot of times people enter the new year, they want resolutions, they want all these types of things, but I've never been a big resolution guy. I've been a goal set kind of guy. Yeah. So I feel like there's a bit of a difference because goals can be something that you can set and there's no real necessary end date to some of these goals, right? So in the definition of a goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort and aim to a desired result.
Okay.
So what goals do you have for yourself this year? Personally, professionally?
In terms of setting goals, like you said, it's cool to do a resolution. And you're just really doing something that you probably should be doing 11 other months of the year. That's really what it is. You should look at, if you look at anything from a business standpoint, it's going to be monthly, whether it be just monthly goals, monthly quotas, monthly projections that you need to hit. And that's just kind of how you need to kind of look at your life. Some people don't look at their life as a business that way. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to be efficient and you're going to say, hey, I'm working towards this, and then you check those things off, you say, okay, I'm working towards this. You can't say in January, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds, and then in October still be talking about it.
Right.
Because that means you didn't put the small things in place for it to be done. So like you're saying, if you're going to set a goal, you don't just set the large goal, the long-term goal. You got to set the small part. Mm-hmm. You got to say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay. How am I going to lose 20 pounds? Am I going to eat cleaner? Okay. If you're going to eat cleaner, do you need to take lunch to work? Right. Okay. You're going to take lunch to work. When are you going to cook it? On Sundays? Wednesdays? See, there's 3 other steps right there to make sure that you get there.
Right.
Instead of just throwing out that, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds goal. So, and that's how business works. That's how everything works, is I need to get this, and this done. So for me personally, I'm going to continue to grow the podcast, of course. Working on some things within the Workout with Wayne app to where I want it to be a little bit more readily accessible to people who are in-person clients, mm-hmm. To where I can get something with a wider range of people. And then get our project, which is a documentary. I know we keep calling it a hidden project, but it is a documentary that we did, and get that rolling, and then possibly look at a second one of those, mm-hmm. to where we can continue to help some people. So we've got the multiple platforms going. Again, we're using Instagram and those other things, and then also YouTube. So we'll get some more stronger inside content on this channel, because that's where you're gonna be watching it.
Check it out.
Yeah, so we're gonna get some more stuff, like the little thing we did, the short video with you going to the doctor.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to do more stuff like that, because again, that's going to be realistic stuff that people are going to experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the type of stuff that I want to continue doing. We're going to build that, and for me, just to continue doing that to where we can help more people. Because my biggest thing is I don't have to worry about marketing, advertising, money, if I'm helping as many people as possible.
Right.
If people are going, hey, Ernest, what in the world are you doing? Oh, I work out with Wayne. Referrals.
Yes.
and vice, and then that person does it, that person does it, that person does it, and then all you guys do is either you go out and actually leave me a referral, or you do say something on your social media or whatever, or people actually come up to you and ask you.
Right.
Word of mouth right there, bam, and I don't have to worry about anything. So really my goal is always to make sure that I become the best teacher, coach as possible, and provide you with as many resources to where you can be successful, and then everything else takes care of itself.
Right.
There's no great coach that nobody knows. It doesn't work that way.
It does not work that way.
Because you would not hit your goals in silence.
Right.
Like I said, even you don't even have to brag about it. Somebody else is going to come up to you and ask you.
Right.
So it all takes care of itself.
Man, no one knows the coach of the Bulls when Jordan was averaging 38. But they know when he was winning those 6 championships.
That was Doug Collins, man.
Yeah.
That was Doug Collins.
Everybody doesn't know.
And you know why? Because every broadcast, he'd be like, when I used to coach Michael. I used to coach Michael. He's like, you're doing a lot of name dropping.
I used to let him score 40 a game.
Yeah.
We wouldn't win those games. But, it's easy to coach.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody knows Phil Jackson, and Phil Jackson is known because of the players.
Yeah.
Because of Mike, Scotty, Shaq, Kobe.
Right.
That's it right there.
There you go.
So, yeah. What about yourself, man?
So for me, I think still want to work on my fitness goals as far as continuing to getting that healthy body fat percentage, continue into getting that getting the weight down. Really comfortable kind of where I'm at, but I don't want to be too comfortable where I'm at, because once you get to a point being almost 400 pounds to being 253 now, it's like, it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good, but I know there's more, and so I know I have to push through. And so I really want to. My goal is to break through the comfort, and really push through and really ramp it up to get to that a healthy weight where I can then begin to maintain, and a comfortable weight for myself that I want to maintain. Right.
Yeah.
Then I still want to continue building the podcast with you, continue building that brand, continue working towards helping other people. I sit here and I remember when you were talking, I remember that first conversation that we had. And one of the things you said to me was, I help so many other people with their health and their fitness, but then it's the people closest to me that I want to make sure, like, I don't want to be helping everybody else, but not help the people that I care about outside of the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's another thing I want to do. I want to not just sit around and watch friends and family live a life that I know that they would benefit from improving, right? And so being more vocal in situations where it's uncomfortable. I want to be able to do that to people and with people.
They gotta be ready.
They got, but that's the thing though. That's the thing. So they got to be ready, and I understand that because people were vocal to me in the past, but they didn't kind of stay on me, because I believe you probably said something to me like once or twice, but understanding that people have to be ready for those conversations. It's not going to hurt my feelings if they don't pursue it, but I will be comfortable in myself knowing that I came to them out of love, and I came to them out of, a healthy, good place.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, because it is uncomfortable. It is. You're almost in a way you're putting a relationship on the line, because if somebody responds negatively to something that you've said, doesn't matter where you're coming from. It depends on how they take it.
Exactly.
So a lot of relationships are affected when you could have good intentions and you can say things and say, hey, look out for this. Hey, this could be an issue. And then that person takes it, and internalizes it and thinks that it's something that you're trying to harm them or bash them or something. You're like, no, I'm not. Right. Because clearly I'm not. I'm your loved one. I'm your friend, your family, whatever. So I'm actually telling you because I don't want these things for you. Right. So that's a tough situation because not everybody can respond that way. And it shows the type of person you are, the way that you responded to the conversation. Right. It is very possible that we could not be friends right now from that conversation. And it wasn't because I was rude. It was because you could have chosen to say, well, you know, leave me alone, man. Let me live my life, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I don't need to hear that from you.
Right. Yep.
And that happens all the time. So, I mean, if you take that role, you will have to be prepared for possibly rolling the dice and that becoming a thing.
And one thing I realized, I think I've always kind of felt this way, but I realized for other people, being a larger person, being a person that is obese and wanting to change doesn't mean you hate who you are now.
Yeah.
You don't have to hate yourself to want to change yourself.
Exactly.
And so I think a lot of times when you are approached to make that change, it's like, well, I love me the way I am. That's great, and you should, and I love you too the way you are.
Yeah.
But I also want to love you longer. Right? I want you to be here to experience this love longer.
Yeah.
Right? And so right now, and there's things what we can do to prolong, to help to prolong your life and give you a better quality of life for the time that you are here. Yeah. Because at any time you could walk out and get hit by a bus or someone with a 10% right. I understand. We statistics. 10% body fat and 30% body fat. You can die in a myriad of ways, but statistically speaking, if we all want to live a healthy life and we live till we die of natural causes, preventable or unpreventable, you can live a longer life if you can start preventing some of those things.
Yeah. That's the thing, but that was a great point. You don't have to hate yourself to want to change, to say, I want to lose body fat, I want to live healthier. Because again, the great part of that doctor video that was there is because you did not talk about how you look or anything like this. Was your health. Mm-hmm. You took your own health into your own hands, and then you had somebody that is a professional say that you have metrics to why you are healthier. Mm-hmm. All the tests you took, the blood pressure, your blood work, all that different stuff, and they said, hey, you are a healthier person now, and the byproduct is the way you look in your body. Right. So you weren't out, running in trash bags and doing all the crazy stuff, taking, fat loss pills because, like what was it?
B12.
Nutty professor type stuff, it was more serious. And now you have the more athletic look, and then you also are healthier. Mm-hmm. And you did it by loving yourself because that's what motivated. You said, I love myself. I'm going to treat myself better. And that's the hard thing to say. And we've talked about some other episodes. Mm-hmm. If somebody's trying to fool you and say, oh, I love myself, and they're doing something that clearly is harming them,
right?
Whether, and it's a long-term harm, mm-hmm. It's probably a short-term thing where it's like, oh, but it's like if you drink 6 sodas a day, that's a problem, and that you're harming yourself.
I feel like you're talking about me at this point.
back in the day. Is it still 6 sodas if it's a big gulp?
So 2 big gulps is like 2 sodas.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I drink a 2 liter, I had a soda.
Yeah. Well, that's the American way. Spoken like a true American.
I don't drink soda. It's very rare now. So now a soda is a 20 ounce, but before. Yeah. 8, 20 ounce.
But yeah, so there's just those type of things. If you're smoking cigarettes every day, it's like I love myself, blah blah blah. It's like but you're obviously harming yourself.
Right. And
that's something that you should be working on because you know the effects of smoking, soda, sugar, all these different things.
Right. And it's funny. So it's funny how we pick and choose the things that we can't tolerate or we think is bad for ourselves. Like Ernest at 350, 400 pounds, whatever. See somebody smoking, that's gross.
Yeah.
Let me get these chicken wings though.
Yeah. Everybody has their own. But everybody's not gonna be perfect.
But I know. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like we kind of pick and choose what sin is bad.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you can't be perfect.
Yeah.
So. But in terms of the goals,
So how does setting goals help us be successful? Like how because you wanted to start a business. So what was the first thing you said? Okay, I want to be a personal trainer. I want to start my own business. How did setting goals, either short term, long term, how did those things help you transition?
Well, one, I already knew what I was doing when I went into business for myself, which is something that a lot of people do. If you are going to be an entrepreneur, you should have worked in that industry underneath somebody. Basically, you learn on somebody else's time. Mm-hmm. You make your mistakes, and then you don't kind of, possibly ruin your brand before you're even, experienced. Mm-hmm. And that's unfortunate. A lot of people do that. They just go out there because it's so easy to just get a website and a logo, and you're like, bam, I'm in business. Right. And you're not good. Right. And then you're taking on orders or whatever service or business that you're providing, and you're not as good. Mm-hmm. And then now you've given, kind of that first impression thing, and then you have to reinvent yourself and stick with it because you have to continue to evolve, and not everybody can do that. They kind of take that first blow, and it's like, oops, I'm out of business. I'm done. Because, right. I mean, if you look at entrepreneur, you look at especially like one-person LLCs and stuff like that, a lot of them don't last a year. Mm-hmm. People start stuff all the time, and then you can see it, and you're like, they haven't updated their social media in a year, or they haven't, and it's like, where'd they go? Right. What happened? And it's because a lot of times they just jumped out there. Right. So I had already had experience within big box gyms, so I already did all the training in terms of sales training, understanding how to speak to people, understanding the behind the scenes, having the pressure of quota, sales sheets, and those things. So I brought that along with me.
How to speak to people professionally.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. What?
Oh, no, nothing. So I had talked to this one guy, and it was like, sometimes, my dad is.
Oh, that was this one person.
Yeah, there's one person.
Yeah, there is one person. There's only one kid. But no, in terms of just understanding that these are the things that you need to do to be successful. So I would have a monthly sales sheet. I would track my hours. I would track how many clients I had, just like I had a boss. Mm-hmm. So I was basically being my own boss to make sure that I was continuing to grow. Right. So that's how I was able to do that. And then now, I've gotten better at my job. I can be a little more lax on that because it's more of something that is just more natural to me. But I was hard on myself early on to say, I'm on my own now. I'm going to do this, and this. And then even now, I still have to evaluate things and say where things going, especially in the last 10 months. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, this is how things were. This is how lifestyle was. And, the number of people who wanted to train in person. What are you going to do about this? And that has to be a business decision and understanding where you're going to allocate your time and resources. Yeah, like basically you need, if you're going to work for yourself early on, it's easy to be lazy. It's easy to be, cut corners. You need to actually give yourself performance reviews and say, what are you doing so that you can actually grow? And then also, if you do that, then you take those same principles, and if you actually are in the position to ever hire somebody else, now you've built your own systems. Right. To where you could say, hey, I used to do this, I did it for myself, now you need to do this because you are the new person or whatever. And then it's easier to pass something along instead of saying, hey, just do it however you want or whatever.
Right. But no, yeah, that's good. So I kind of take that aspect of performance goals or like monitoring my fitness like that too. So if I'm working out consistently, eating right for a 2-week period, and I'm seeing a lot of stagnation on the scale, or I'm seeing a lot of, I'm not seeing the changes where I want to see the changes. I don't feel like I'm getting stronger, or I feel like maybe the workout isn't. I'm going through the motions a little bit. I just want to try to ramp it up a little bit, right? So ramp up the workouts a little bit. Add a set. add a couple reps, increase the weight, do things like that in order to not stay stagnant in what I'm doing. I want to always be improving and getting better because I'm still at a point where I want to continue to reduce the body fat, right?
Yeah.
I want to reduce the weight, and so I want the scale to continue to go down. And in order to do that, I need to make sure that I am doing the right things nutrition wise, but also I want to make sure I want to maximize my effort when it comes to the workouts too.
Yeah.
So I think for me, with this year, I think the next goal I have right now is I want to about that 20-pound range, right? I think I want to get down another 20 pounds before my birthday.
Okay.
So I got 6 months.
There you go.
To get down to 20 pounds.
And right now it's really about you, the body recomposition, to where it's really focusing on building muscle.
It's hard now, man.
No, it's not. It's not. You're just so used to. And that's the thing. I have to understand where you're coming from, who the client is, and the things. I can't try to get a person who's 300 pounds, 400 pounds, somebody who just wants to get. At the end of the day, you want to get smaller. As much as you wanted to be fit and build muscle, you just wanted to get a little bit smaller, right? So I understand that.
Yeah.
So, if we do lose a little bit of muscle in the process, which I don't want you to do, then I'm understand that. It's like, this is a human thing. You're not, some video game character that, there's no human element. But now to the point, like you said earlier, you said, I feel really good. I feel comfortable where I'm at. Now it's really, really, really important for you to be focused on hitting those macronutrients that I give you so that you can really make sure that you're not losing any muscle and you're just really just building the muscle, losing the fat, and that looks differently and changes a little bit slower, but that's where you're at now. So, yeah, we're saying the same thing, but just understand that it's not about dropping that 20. It's just more so about dropping that body fat and continuing to build the muscle that you have. Yeah.
And the macronutrients are the carbs, fats, and protein.
There you go. Don't ever put that protein last. You said protein
you say
first.
The best for last. You did?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but no, but I definitely see, I know one of the things we talked about before, when people have the plastic surgeries to get like the muscles and the fake muscles. A lot of people you see overseas. You look at people and they got these big biceps, but they got no veins in their arms. They don't have none. Yeah. And so I look at myself now. I see veins.
Yeah.
I see. I mess with my wife all the time because I'll come out the shower or something and I just be.
This is a family show.
I'm not. So I mess with my wife all the time because I'll just start flexing on her.
Okay.
Like that, right? So
okay.
I just start flexing the arms or the legs and things like that, and so she'd be like, "Stop." But then she touch real quick.
What's the thing is, it was always there.
It was always
you just
there.
couldn't see it.
Hey, listen.
It was always there.
Just gotta yeah. So I just took the winter coat off of it.
Yeah, everybody got veins and muscles.
Yeah,
some people can't see them.
Some people can't see them.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all
it
is.
So I'm the definition is starting to come in, and so that's I'm enjoying that process. And so again, but just goals. So the first goal that we had was to get the first goal we had was to get under 350. Right,
Mm-hmm.
that was the first goal we set for ourselves, and so we attained that goal. That was the first short term goal we had.
Yeah.
The long term goal we had was 250.
Mm-hmm.
We 3 pounds away from 250.
Yeah.
And so, again,
it only took you what, like 6 months?
No. So
90 days.
No, not.
Come on, man. That's what the tabloids say.
No.
I seen it today. I was in the grocery store. National Enquirer.
No. Only thing going on in 90 Day Fiance.
Oh man.
No. So September.
No.
You stupid. September 2018. Is that when we started? 18 or 19? 18, I believe.
Yeah.
September 2018. So
mm-hmm.
we're going on 2.5 years.
Yeah.
2.5 year process of transforming my body.
And what's the rush?
There's nothing.
I'm just, like I said, I understand
Yeah.
that somebody wants to change and get there.
Right.
But because when you get there, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go on vacation and quit working out?
For 2 weeks at least.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna have to keep doing it.
Gotta
So
keep
it's like
doing
you
it,
might
yeah.
as well do it the right way and get there. And that's something that it's a difficult conversation, especially when there's a really eager new client and it's like, I really want to get started. And they're like, just throw the book at me, like give me everything. And it's like, no. You need to just add 1 habit, 2 habits, 3 habits. And some people, they don't want to move at that pace, and it kind of turns them off. And it's like, I look at it this way. If you can't, this is a good analogy when it comes to like financial literacy and stuff, right? And then people are like, well, anybody can save money if you have a good job or if you make a lot of money, right? They're like, well, if you have money coming in, it's easy to save it, right? Some people would say that.
Some people, yeah.
Yeah, some people would say that. But the thing is, if you can't save $2, you can't save $20,000.
No.
It's about your habits.
Right.
You need to have the habits to do something, because if you did it then you would be able to do it there. So those habits, it's all about your habits. It's all about your habits. If you are not a person who can do this at the smallest level,
Right.
then you can't do it at the biggest level. And so that's why.
But no, you're absolutely,
yeah.
You're absolutely right. A man who makes minimum wage and blows his money on frivolous things, if he gets a 6-figure salary, he's going to blow his money on more expensive frivolous things.
Exactly. He's going to have more expensive habits, but the same way impulse buys and just a lack of financial literacy. That's why you see when people hit the lottery.
Yeah.
They hit the lottery. If you don't come from understanding money, if you're not able to get people in your corner, couple years you're broke again because of your habits. It has nothing to do with how much you have coming in. So so if you have I have a person who wants me to say, here's the most extreme meal plan, then come train and work out 6 days a week, and then it's like, no, because last week you weren't doing nothing. And then everything in your body is gonna affect. It's gonna affect everything. It's gonna affect your family life. It's gonna affect your ability to sleep. All those different things. I can't take you from 0 to 100 in a week. It's not good for you.
Nope.
And now some people do have that ability, and they can be successful short term. But then guess what happens? Those are the same people who go from 100 back to 0.
Right.
So they go, I killed it for 3 months straight, whatever. And, because I'll see people, I've had people, and this is more of a male thing as well. So, man, I don't even care. I'll eat the same thing every day. I'm like, you don't have to do that. Please don't do that.
That was me.
You were one of those guys.
I was brown rice, broccoli, and baked chicken.
It's like, why? You gonna do this for? So
It didn't last long.
no, say, would you still be doing that for this 2.5 years?
Could not do
eating
that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like, why even start with those type of extreme behaviors when it's not something that's going to be sustainable?
Because the bodybuilder on Instagram does it. He boils his chicken.
Oh man, yeah. He also has a lot of other stuff going in his body that you don't. So that's the danger.
I want the veins.
Oh man. So
Hey, yeah.
but I'm telling you, it's about understanding the slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race.
Right.
You're the tortoise, man.
There we go. But that's another thing. So when we set these goals at the beginning of the year, these fitness goals, I want to start going to the gym every day. I want to start going to the gym. Let's start by going to the gym.
Yeah.
Maybe start
3 days a week.
Yeah, 3 days a week. And then if you go 3 days a week, you're like, I can add another day after a month or two.
Yeah.
Add another day. Don't because like you said, you're going to burn yourself out if you go from 0 to 100.
Yep.
If you go from not working out at all to saying, okay, I want to lose these 20 pounds, I'm going to go to the gym Monday through Friday from 6 to 7:30 every day. And you do that for the first week or 2 weeks. It's going to get tiring, exhausting, especially if you're doing.
Also, your body adjusts.
Right.
So then you have to do more to get the same result.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better for you to actually slowly increase so that your body always is reacting to something a little bit new. For hate to use the bodybuilding culture, but again, these are people who have the most extreme physiques. They have the most muscle and the least amount of fat, right? Mm-hmm. So you're manipulating your body. So their workouts are not the same. Let's say somebody's like, I got 16 weeks to train for a show. Their nutrition is not going to be the same as that week 16 leading up to the show, and then their training routine is not going to be the same leading up to the show. Leading up to the show, they are going to have the least amount of food coming in and even more, usually higher levels of cardio. Mm-hmm. But when they first start the 16 weeks out, their calories and things are a lot higher because they are at a heavier weight, and then their cardio is a little bit lower. Mm-hmm. And then that happens, and it takes time. Mm-hmm. And then they get ripped, and then guess what they have to do after that? They don't just say, oh, yeah, I'm, take a guy or something, I'm 5-6% body fat or whatever, I'm 7% body fat. I'm just going to stay this way. Mm-hmm. No, you can't. It's not sustainable. Right. So then you're going to go right back and add the calories up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now, he's not going to go up to 30% body fat. Right. But again, you're going to have levels to this. And fluctuations are normal. It doesn't matter. Take myself. Am I getting down to 7% body fat? No. But I will have an area to where I would fluctuate. Am I getting up to 30% body fat? No. But I'm going to have an area to where, it's mid-teens to low teens, or, back in, anywhere probably between, 11, 12, and then maybe up to 17, 18, depending on the time of the year. Right. I could really make a goal, maybe possibly to get down very low. That's something I might do, might not. But again, all the other things come into play when you're doing that. Right. Because now, how are you going to run 3 businesses? How are you going to do this when you are focusing on that? Right. So it's kind of a give and take.
Yeah. So in life, have you ever started something without setting a goal prior to? You ever just dive head first into anything, whether it be personally, professionally, education wise? I know for me, I know when I went to college, I kind of dove head first. Because I graduated in 2003, and so it was college or the military, and I wasn't about to go to nobody's desert with no rifle on my back. Okay. So I was like, well, I'm going to dive head first into this college thing and see kind of how it goes. Didn't really set goals too much in high school to get to college level, to get to college as in the best ways possible. Yeah. But once I got there and kind of learned how to maneuver and do things kind of on your own, because at that point you don't have your parents with you to kind of push you to make sure you're getting yourself done. So getting through that first semester or so, and then really getting my feet wet with it, I began to understand what I needed to do in order to be successful in that realm, and then to move on into bigger and better things. And so that's when I started. It was like my junior year is when I really started setting goals for my post-college career and my post-college jobs, and set myself up for success then. But going into college, there was no real goals, and so it was kind of
somewhat normal. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's very few people who are day one on campus, exactly what they want to do. Usually, that comes from very close people to them, siblings or parents, uncle, aunt, or something who says, "Hey, I've done this exact path as you. Here's the blueprint." Right. If you don't have that, then you're not going to come in day one saying, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z and then be done and out of here. Right. Yeah.
My 3 older sisters went to college.
Oh, well. Maybe they held on to the blueprint.
Yeah.
Or if you were in different fields, though. Are you in the same field?
The sister right above me, she was a criminal justice major as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Oh, well, sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah, but
I said what I said.
Right, but saying that is so going into it without a plan, it kind of made things a little more difficult. Yeah. Because I didn't set myself up GPA wise in high school, and doing those things I needed to do my my sophomore, junior, senior year in high school. My sophomore and junior year. My senior year is when I really started kind of ramping it up a little bit better and doing better.
Yeah.
But again, if I had set the right goals, and had done the things, I would have been better prepared for the next step, the next chapter, and the challenges.
Definitely.
And so, have you ever experienced anything similar to that? Not setting a goal before getting into something?
I mean, I could say the same thing. I went to school and I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. But yeah, for the most part, I would say I'm a little bit more, calculated with the majority of the things that I do. But yeah, you can learn on the fly and figure it out. Sometimes you just have either a passion for something, then you have to figure out the rest, and say, what am I going to do? But I mean, maybe you had a little bit more of an excuse back then. But I mean, now it's just so much information and so much. It's just like, how can you not know? How do you do a podcast? How do you use a DSLR camera? How do you, shoot documentary? How do you use lighting? How do you do these things?
Right.
It's free.
Yeah.
The place you're watching this, you can watch everything else. How do you change a flat tire?
Yeah, right up there. Type it in.
No. Stay watching.
Not right now, but when we're over, then type it in.
Yeah, I mean, the information is there. You can search it, and then you can watch it. You can listen to it, whatever. And there's people showing you. So there's really no reason to even say, what. I mean, there's think about it, websites like Glassdoor is where it's like, hey, I want to be at XYZ. Okay, go see how much it really makes. So the information is there.
And then what's the tech place that helps you do a lot of that helps people do a lot of the behind the scenes? What's it called?
Doing like the gigs to where you hire people, or are you saying?
Yeah, when you hire people to do.
There's things like Fiverr and different stuff like that.
Fiverr.
Yeah.
And all type, and then online classes that you can. Websites you can go to take online classes to learn these things.
Exactly. It's there. It's all there for you. When it comes to health and fitness, it's not about just what you know and knowing the information. Somebody just give you information sometimes, and in other arenas, other industries, other places of learning, you can just say, okay, I'm just going to do. The way you do math doesn't have anything to do with how you were raised. But if I give you a meal plan and you have habits to where how you deal with stress, all those things come into play. So for you to actually succeed and be efficient at health, fitness, weight loss, fat reduction, even building strength, all these things come into play. How you sleep, you've been through the process and just evolving and making sure that you do these things. There's some people who don't want to eat vegetables. So, okay, if I give you a meal plan that says you need to eat this and eat that, and you don't like it, it's new to you, there's certain things that you've never had before,
right.
Then it's not going to work for you.
Right. So
it's so important to just understand that there's such a human element to this, and that's why it doesn't just work if you YouTube and say, what is their workout? What is their meal plan? It's not going to work for you because you're not them and they're not you. So you need to have some coaching strategies and some things to come into play, and that's kind of the difference.
Right. And just because you want to, and even if you want to do it, right? Even if you want to pursue this and you're 100% in, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy.
Well, and this is the thing. You can want to do it, but then you still have to put in systems to be successful because you might want to stop smoking. You might truly want to, but this is my last cigarette, and then next week find yourself smoking because of other things that are in place to, lifestyle. Maybe it's, again, how you deal with stress. Maybe just the environment, the people around you.
Right.
Maybe you have a stressful job. Maybe whatever it is, right? Maybe you drive a truck and it's Marlboros. Like, you can't escape it. Whatever it is, like, that's it. And it's not just your willpower. So a lot of people actually get down on themselves. And, we talked about this once before. It's like, you're not a weak person. You're not a bad person, or you're not a person who just it's just all about my mindset. Some people are like that. Some people can cold turkey stuff. Some people can switch, but not everybody's like that. And it's beyond just this willpower type of thing.
Absolutely. So, what are ways to measure success, right? Outside of, well, obviously we have, the scale when we're dealing with health and fitness. But what are some other ways that people can measure success outside of the scale? Because a lot of people have that scale anxiety, right?
Exactly.
And so we don't. So the scale is an important tool, right? The scale shows us where we started. The scale kind of shows us where we're at, and then the progress in the middle, the progress or lack thereof progress can be, explained based on the things we've done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So outside of that, what are some ways that we can, kind of determine whether or not we're successful in reaching or attaining our goals?
The scale is not the end all be all. You got to have a bunch of different metrics to show that you're having success. The number one thing is, do you like what's happening? Do you feel good? We always talk about feel better. Number one thing you should be doing is feel better. If you are waking up with energy, maybe before starting, you were hitting the snooze button and you were just not looking forward to getting up, and now you're waking up to natural light, or maybe even waking up before your alarm. Mm-hmm. That's success right there. That has nothing to do with the scale. Maybe you're hitting your water goal every day and you're actually hydrated. That's going to help, again, regulate things in your body. But again, that is success to where you're like, oh yeah, I actually drink enough water from my body now. I don't walk around dehydrated like a lot of people are. Mm-hmm. And then there's different things to where, maybe clothes are fitting differently. And then also just maybe you feel more confident. Maybe you've only lost 3 pounds or whatever. Who knows? Right. But you feel better. That's the number one thing to say, okay, I should be doing this. Mm-hmm. Because think about it this way. Let's say, I always love these extreme hypotheticals, right? Let's say your body, you were cursed, right? Mm-hmm. By some wicked witch. Mm-hmm. And she said, exercise and nutrition will never change your body. You're stuck with that body, right?
Right.
But you still get all the hormonal effects of exercise. You still feel good. You still can improve your strength. Mm-hmm. You still can, you get hydrated and drink water, all those different things, right? Mm-hmm. You should still do it then, right? Because you would feel better.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. That should be the number one thing, to where you're like, dang, I'm stuck with this body, depending on who you are, but I still want to feel better.
Right.
So I'm going to go walk for 2 miles and not even care if I'm losing weight, because I've been cursed by this crazy wicked witch that Wayne made up.
Right.
But
it's a wicked witch of fitness.
Oh man. But yeah, so just understanding that those small things right there are going to be measures of success. And then of course, you can get into the actual metrics if you have somewhere where you can actually measure body fat efficiently. If you can have an actual strength goal, a cardio goal, something to where you actually have a performance-based goal, to where you're not just relying on the scale. Like we said before, the scale should not be kind of the dictator of what's going on. It should be just one of the people, one of the board of directors, to where they have a equal but small opinion.
So board of directors, I like it. Yeah. I think all that is all that's perfect. I feel like I measure my success in those ways as well, and I feel like confidence levels are there. I feel like I've always been a confident guy, but I feel like it's even more so.
Well, you said you're flexing at random times. I don't know if that you said. I guess that's new. I don't know.
Yeah. That'll be new.
See,
that'll be new.
Signs of success. How often do you flex?
How often do you for no reason whatsoever?
I mean, think about this. Some people choose not to look in the mirror. You actually take a look at yourself in the mirror and feel good. Mm-hmm. That's a measure of success right there.
Yeah, but I also measure success in another way. Also, I measure it with just being a more happy or more pleasant disposition. Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm more the things that would probably irritate me a little more, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. Don't
irritate me the same way now. I'm more able to understand them, interpret them, and then push past them.
Episode we did 21 Signs of a Healthy Body, and then one of the things we said was how to regulate your emotions. If you're able to regulate your emotions and not really get too high and too low, that really how you are physically and then mentally comes into play.
Right.
Because everything's connected.
Right. And then healthier relationships. I think work relationships, I think my work environment and relationships at work, I feel like were improving before the pandemic because, as I was being healthier, I was able to, willing and able to do more as far as getting away from my desk to go check on something as opposed to just sending an email, right? You send an email, you come across one way where you get up and go talk to somebody and really help them out because you want to go walk the 15 minutes down to the office as opposed to I'm not walking here. You're going to take this email real quick and figure it out, right? And so building those relationships at work and then relationships at home, you still have there's always going to be opportunities for disagreements and for conversations, right? We don't talk about arguments. We talk about conversations. Yeah, so there's always avenues and areas for those things, but it's about having healthy dialogue, right? So it's having healthy dialogue with your partner and not having it get to a point where it is this explosive argument and fight because you both are both of your minds are clear and we're just I think we're just healthier all around, right? So we're physically healthier, we're mentally healthier. I think exercising gives us the space to kind of in that moment to kind of clear our mind a little bit and to kind of just focus on ourselves for that 30 to 45 minutes or hour if we're going to work out and do some cardio or something like that to just kind of, I know she's okay. I know my son's okay. Let me go work on daddy for a little while and vice versa for her. She knows I'm good. She knows he's good. So she can go work on mama for a little while. So, and she enjoys running. Like she just finished 100 miles in 90 days or something like that. Something crazy. Yeah. Really impressive. I'm proud of her. And so I think, running those 3 or 4 miles, that has to be therapeutic in a sense, right?
Yeah, it's just a sense of accomplishment as well.
Right. And so it allows her an opportunity to just kind of be in her zone, listen to her music, or just listen to her thoughts as she, pounds the pavement or hits the treadmill or whatever she was doing at that specific day. And so I think that making space for yourself allows you to come back to your family unit, in a better spot. Definitely.
It's all connected. It's all connected. I would always say that, like you said, it all tied into feeling better, being able to regulate those emotions, and just being like you said, overall happier. And that's the part that we touched on earlier, where some people still don't want to believe that you'll be happier when you're healthier.
Mm-hmm.
You will. You will. And you should be. And you shouldn't be any shame in saying that.
Right.
And I love that's when you can kind of give your story and your testimonials of how you feel, and then people, they have to understand it.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been a person that you've known me since 13? Something crazy.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, we were young.
Teens, yeah.
I've always been a happy person. I've always been a jovial personality. But I feel now that is just the confidence level that I have now is just I exude it even more.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I was subdued or anything previous to the weight loss.
You were. Because this is who you are. So
this is who I am.
Correct. So previously, you're saying that your confidence in things is higher now.
Mm-hmm.
This is who you are. So because of the effects of the poor nutrition and lack of exercise, you were subdued.
Mm.
It was almost like you were being sedated almost because you couldn't fully let who you are out because you didn't change. That's why I use the phrase, when you become healthy and fit, you're the super hero version of yourself, or you're really who you are. You know, like that's who you are. Versus it being a thing of.
So it went from Steve Rogers to Captain America.
No, you've always been Captain America, and the food made you Steve Rogers. Because we weren't.
So I didn't take the super serum. I took away.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't. Think about it. We weren't born eating processed foods and doing these things that have allowed our bodies to kind of go the wrong way. You're not. So those things is almost like, what does a teacher always say? And maybe a college course, something is like, well, you start with an A, and then and whatever you do afterwards is what you end up with. When you're born, for most people, you start with an A. And then when you choose to go to McDonald's 6 days a week and you choose not to exercise or drink water, then you get what you get. But if you grow up a certain way and you eat the way you're supposed to eat, you move the way you're supposed to move, guess what? You're just kind of being who you're supposed to be.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we can look at it either way, but for you to be who you are today, it's not really a big change, but you are that person because you are your healthiest self. Same thing. I mean, I would say, when I have fluctuated maybe in my weight or something like that, yeah, you're just a little bit different because of the confidence level of, and then also, I believe the confidence comes from accomplishment. So you're going to have better results when you're doing things more consistently. Right? To where you are working out 6 days a week versus 3 days a week. When you are eating cleaner 6-7 days a week versus 3-4 days a week.
Right.
So then you have kind of patted yourself on the back more times than you were before. You've checked off more boxes more times than before. Right. And now you're like, hey, I feel like this every single day. Yeah.
That was like a little mini therapy session. Yeah, yeah. No. You were subdued. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I would say, you know what? I would have to agree with you, because if you would have approached me at 400 pounds and say, hey, let's start a podcast and document your journey, I might have pushed back on that.
Yeah.
I might not have been ready to kind of share that.
Yeah.
Because still holding on to a little bit of that uncomfortability, but now, I feel like my personality lends itself well to these type of platforms and this type of thing. And the personality hasn't really changed that much, but there was still maybe some subconscious things that I wasn't ready to want to be put out there for.
Yeah, because I always tell people, you can go to I really like associating, the phrase is health is wealth, right? I really like associating actual physical health with financial analogies and things like that. People will brag and be like, come to my seminar, I'll show you how to, make 6 figures, I'll show you how this is, and then they'll be like, I used to be broke, I slept in my car, blah, 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 right? If you didn't have that type of turnaround, you're not going to go around telling people you slept in your car, you used to be broke.
You wouldn't say, I'm sleeping in my car.
Yeah.
I am broke.
You wouldn't.
But listen to me, I'm going to turn it around.
No.
Keep watching. You'll see. He's like, yeah.
No, you're going to keep it to yourself until you change it around, because, again, like I said, those insecurities will be there. And so the same thing, like, you don't really want to talk about health and fitness and those things if you are in that space. That's why there's people who you probably say, hey, go listen to the podcast, go check it out. It's like they kind of don't even want to listen to it because they're not in a place where they want to hear these things. They should be listening to them.
Message.
It should push them into the right direction.
Right.
But they're like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out. Because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it.
Yeah. And again, one thing I like to tell people that, I'm coming from a place of being obese and trying to get myself to a fit body fat percentage and and BMI. But this podcast isn't just for that type of transformation or that type of journey. This is for everybody. We talk about all types of things, and so a lot of the things do have a weight loss type of aspect to them. But if you're just out there, trying to maintain, if you're out there trying to just improve certain areas of your health and your fitness, this is a place where you guys can come and get free information, free dialogue. We respond to all the comments that are left behind. If you send us a message, we'll respond to your messages. And so this isn't strictly about weight loss, right? Yeah. This is about being healthy, mind, environment, all that good stuff. So don't think that this is only about, the number on the scale reducing.
Yeah.
So let's just wrap this up. So things that we want to keep in mind when we're setting goals, right? So I said we want to keep in mind that you have a purpose, right? Keep in mind the purpose that you're setting, right? You have a reason for why you want to attain this goal. Remember your why. Mm-hmm. We always set up a why statement. And I know my why was for my wife, my son, my family. And, I wanted to ensure that I'm around for them as long as possible, right? I don't want to hinder my ability to be with them because something I wasn't doing right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was my why, right? And so, do you have a why statement? Do you have a why?
Yeah. Like I said, mine is a short phrase uses I perspire to inspire. Mm-hmm. Basically, is if I can show that this is a lifestyle and you can do this day in and day out and it's very possible, then you can do it too. And I want people to, if I'm whether it be social media platforms or listen to the podcast, whatever it is, I want them to get the things that they need to hear from me, from us, and say, Wayne is a person who knows about health. Wayne is a person who walks the walk, he talks the talk, and if I have questions, I can ask him, or if I'm having a bad day and I happen to swipe through his story, and it's like, okay, well, he's training other people, or he's talking about superfoods, or he's working out himself, and then it's like, well, you know what, maybe I will make it to the gym today. Right. And that's kind of my thing, is to where I want to really affect those around me. I feel like that's something that I've done to where, again, this is somebody who's my friend, and now we have had a immediate impact on your life, and then you're going to impact others around you. So I'm able to really affect my community, my friends, my family, and then those people are going to go and give the vaccine to other people.
There you go.
And that's really my purpose. If I can do that, because you can't say I'm going to go change the world or something, but you can make a change in somebody else and then have them pay it forward.
There you go. Yeah. The world starts at home. You know what I'm saying? All right. Number 2, I would say, understand that you are a priority. Make yourself a priority. Understand that the things that you want from yourself out of your life, whether it be personal, financial, physical, those types of goals that you're setting, make sure that you understand that you're a priority. And so set yourself up in a way in which you can attain those things realistically, right? So we want to make sure we set short-term goals. So we want to hit things maybe every week. We want to hit things so that at the end of the month, we have another set of goals. And then we want to set those long-term goals where in 6 months, I want to have this much money in my bank, or in a year, I want to be down this many pounds, or I want to be in this body fat percentage range, right? So we want to make sure that when you're setting those goals, you understand that you're a priority and you're setting yourself up for success, right?
Yeah.
And last thing, you want this. No one forced you to set the goal. No one's making you set a goal. No one's making you make, that bad word, resolution. No one's making you do that. So if you set the goal, be true to yourself and work towards it. Don't let small things hinder you. Everybody's going to stumble. While we were filming the documentary, I was going back through my progress, and there were months where I just kind of plateaued, where it was July through November the weight was the same. But I was checking off everything on the box. Right? I was working out every day. I was doing the workouts, but the weight wasn't moving because I wasn't doing the right things in the kitchen, right? So I had a goal, but for whatever reason, I was in a state of comfortability where I wasn't pushing through on the nutrition side, and understanding that, I kicked things back into high gear with the help of Wayne telling me that, what are you doing, right?
A nice, friendly reminder.
Right. Nice, friendly reminder. That's what it was. So understand that you have these things that you want, and so it's no one else can stop you. Only you can stop you when it comes to doing things that you're in control of, right? So make sure that you take control and do it the best you can, because you don't want to be in a situation where you have to do it, right? I never wanted to be in a situation where I had to do it in the sense of
that doctor appointment video
right
could have been a lot different.
Could have been.
It could have been like, hey, I need to actually start the process because I'm still where
right.
where you were.
Absolutely. There's been many times where I went in, saw the same doctor, and I left out with paperwork on weight loss surgeries.
Yeah.
Imagine you being a doctor. You see somebody come in, at the end of your appointment, you say, hey, here's some information on gastric bypass. This is yada, yada, yada. And then you see that same person, and you're like, no, your BMI is 33. Yeah. You got to get that.
He has the numbers.
Right. So
it's, the numbers.
I mean, I'm sure he was, floored. But again, it's all a process, right? And so it's all part of, it started with, and all this was started with a conversation. It started with love. It started with respect. It started with, I have a skill that I am sharing with many people, but you are close to me, and I want you to, embrace that skill too. And so, again, this all goes back to episode 1. If you haven't listened to that, please do. But that's kind of where.
Click right there.
There you go. And so that's kind of where it started, and that's kind of how this journey began. And so again, I'm appreciative to Wayne for really stepping out and putting that friendship on the line, because it could have went two ways, right? It could have been me saying, "What are you doing?" pushing him away, or it could have been me saying, "Yeah, let's do it." Or 3 ways, I guess. Could have been me, let's do it, and then me failing at it because of me.
Not failing, quitting.
Quitting. There you go. Right. It could have been me saying, this is hard. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And then that whole thing. And now we have this avenue where it's been successful, and that we've now branched off and, hopefully are helping and affecting many other people's lives. And so I appreciate that conversation, and that conversation led us to us talking to you right now. So it's been that conversation led off to 19 plus more conversations.
There you go. There you go.
So create those goals, set short-term, long-term goals, understand your circumstances and your lifestyle so you don't burn yourself out right off the bat when you start, and be consistent. That's the biggest thing. Consistency is really what's going to drive you. I've been consistent. I've been consistent for 2.5 years, right? And for 2.5 years, I've been working at it. And again, there's no real reason to have a finish line for a lot of these things, unless there's specific deadlines you're trying to meet. But again, health and fitness isn't something that you want to necessarily have a deadline for, right? You want to be healthy until your last breath, and so that's the best way to do it, is just to be consistent and continue on.
Yeah, no, you said it best, man. You said it. Those tips right there that you put forth are going to allow people to understand that if you really set these goals, you got to set the short-term goals. When you set those short-term goals, then that's what allows for you to get there. So if you did have a resolution, and we're halfway through the month, and you're trying to figure out if I can be successful. It's getting crunch time to where maybe that willpower is starting to kind of wear off, and maybe some outside forces through your environment are kind of coming into play. Now it's really time to take a look and say, some of the things that you listed, Ernest, and say, what do I need to do to make sure I can get there so that, February, March, or whatever my long-term goal is, I'm actually on pace to get there. So, yeah, definitely good stuff, man. If anybody were to listen, if there were anybody to listen to with that, it would be you, because you've put together a long-term plan right there. Yeah. It's a long-term plan. We work together to get there, and you're getting to the next step. It's not over. There's no finish line, but now you're reevaluating and continuing. Yeah. Yep.
Don't start something, change something.
I couldn't wait to say that one out.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Oh, man. There you go. We got the Workout with Wayne shirts, but then we definitely got the Stronger Inside shirts coming soon. So, we, like I said, just taking another step in the right direction. This YouTube platform. Of course, we're still always on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts as well. Can't forget the Samsung folks.
Yes, sir. Can't do that.
I don't know about them green bubbles, but
Android.
But so let's go ahead and wrap this one up. It was a good return. We are on camera and on the mic. So we're back.
2021. Let's get it.
All right. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Stronger Inside podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, follow us. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, then subscribe. Make sure you stay connected with us via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Stronger Inside Podcast. Remember, every like, comment, and share spreads the message of health, fitness, and wellness.